But what are your expectations this afternoon?
Thank you. I'm also a loyal member of Kenyans, for that matter. And this actually now is the set of the Union Address. The last time was 1 year ago. And I hope that the President will speak to the hearts and minds of Kenyans. As we speak now, what is in the mind of every Kenyan is about the cost of living. It has skyrocketed. And we hope that the President will actually speak to this issue on how to address this matter as a government. I know the other stakeholders, the private sector and so forth and so forth. But as a government, he needs to speak to this matter and address it so that Kenyans can have hope in this government. You see the Kenya shillings and the dollar. I mean, the dollar is now almost 160. That means the purchasing power using the Kenya shilling is very low. So even if you increase salaries of individuals or allowances, it doesn't matter because the dollar rate is still very high. So we also want to hear the fiscal management on matters of the Kenya shillings and the dollar, on how that thing is addressed. So it is my hope and belief that the President will actually address this matter, which is actually at the core of every Kenyan. We represent Kenyans. Even though we are part and parcel of supporting the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, but we are representatives of the people of the constituencies who are actually Kenyans. So the first thing that we're supposed to speak for are the constituencies. So sometimes there could be a tiff between what the government wants and what the constituency wants. Sometimes we say what the constituency wants is dear for us because these are the people who have elected us. They have given us a message. The message they give us is that the cost of living is unbearable. And that he needs to address. Other aspect that I hope that he needs to address is the ongoing flooding issues, which is actually El Nino. It's actually extreme in parts of northern Kenya, parts of Mandera County where I come from, parts of my constituency. And I think this needs to be addressed as well. My neighboring constituency, which is Mandera South, Elwak, the whole town is actually submerged. Right now, as we speak, some of the families are relocating to my constituency to be sheltered in Ramo, which is my headquarters. And all that is because of we never emphasized that El Nino is coming. We are not prepared for it. Now that it has happened, we want the government to move as fast as possible to help the people affected by flooding. That is the basic thing that actually we need to address right now. Other issues, of course, there are global issues, international issues. Those are foreign issues, no problem. But what matters to Kenyans is their stomach, the flooding issues is what now we need to address. Of course, I'm being a member of the Defense and Foreign Relations Committee. The issues which are global. Yesterday we passed and approved the 27 nominees for ambassadors, high commissioners, and so forth. And we have all approved them. Certainly they are supposed to project Kenya's foreign policy to help the government and to help the President project the image of Kenya. And of course, we have issues to deal with foreign policy. And that is what we also probably will also address what is happening in Hamas, between Palestine and Israel, and the police going to Haiti. Those are international issues. So I think that also affects so much our lives here, because we are sending 1,000 police officers to a different country. We're supposed to have a position between Palestine and Israel. Of course, this is an EU position. The EU position is that is a two-state two-state solution. But right now what is happening in that place is that we don't know who is a terrorist now. Hamas, Israel says a terrorist. The Palestine people say Israel is not a terrorist. I mean, what Israel is doing is state terrorism, if you ask me. And I don't hide from that fact. So I think that's also something international. At some point, of course, Kenya's position and Kenya's image needs to be protected as well. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Bashir, the Vice Chair of the Defense Foreign Relations Committee in the National Assembly. Generally, you have a feeling that across the board, there is a bipartisan approach to the cost of living, that whether you support the government, Kenya Kwanza, or the opposition, there is a general consensus that the President must, as a matter of priority, address the issue of the cost of living.